Good afternoon, everyone. Yesterday I saw a news story, a really sad news story about a young girl who was 14 months old and she was bitten and killed by her family dog. Dog bites are something that in Australia seem to be occurring with an increased frequency, and the last records show that 4,000 people every year are admitted to hospital with a dog bite injury. And a large proportion of those are children under the age of 12. These sorts of stories are absolutely devastating for everyone involved, without doubt. The family, the whole community, everyone at home who has children or has a pet can empathise with this situation, and it's just absolutely horrible and horrific to even think about. One of the saddest things, I believe, is that a lot of these scenarios can be prevented. Now, I don't know the situation with this latest news story, and I can't comment at all about what has happened with this particular dog and this particular child. So I want to say that first and foremost. However, I do see dogs every single day at work, and am probably a little bit better than the general community at being able to recognise signs of anxiety and stress. And we as pet owners and as humans generally are very bad at learning how to communicate with our pets. Dog bites rarely occur sporadically. They very rarely occur because a dog is lashing out with no warning. Dogs don't do that. They give us warnings, they tell us that they're uncomfortable, but they very rarely will bite out of the blue. That being said, we as people are not always great at listening to dogs and reading their body language and the signs that they try and give us to tell us that they're uncomfortable. And if by this little video that I'm doing, I can at least help one family or one dog, then it's certainly worthwhile. And I hope that all of you will be able to at least understand and read your dog's body language just a little bit better. So there are lots of signs that dogs can display when they're feeling uncomfortable in a situation. And if you learn to recognize those signs, then you can intervene early and hopefully prevent any disastrous incidences occurring. So I've actually got a little video that I found that is quite succinct and good at showing some of these, what they're called stereotypic behaviours that dogs will display when they're a bit anxious. So I'll just show you that video and I'll chat you through the different signs as they're playing. So the first is lip licking and yawning. Dogs that are doing this when they're not tired, so you can see this little dog, he's avoiding eye contact, we've got a lip lick and a big yawn. That's his way of trying to relieve anxiety and also to let everyone who's around him know that he's feeling uncomfortable. So the next one that's coming up is excessive blinking. Now you'll see in this little video, this little clip, this dog is being patted on the head. He had a little lip lick there as well, and he's sort of squinting and blinking quite a lot. Again, a sign that he's not comfortable in that situation, and something that often would easily go missed if you didn't know what to look for. So the next video will show a dog that again is uncomfortable in a situation. He's got some wrinkles on his face, he's got a wide pulled back grin, and his ears are pulled back. He's not feeling really happy about where he is. So the next little video we're going to see is two dogs. They're going to have a little bit of a fight, a bit of a row, and the little black dog, in order to try and calm himself, he goes off and he humps his bed. Now, some people may think that this is a sexual behaviour or a dominance behaviour, but in this instance, this little dog is doing this. It's called a stereotypic behaviour. It's something he knows how to do. He was uncomfortable with obviously having a fight with that other dog in the moments beforehand. So he's trying to relieve his anxiety and his stress by doing a behaviour that he knows he can do. The next one is licking objects. So objects can be things like glass, like you'll see in this video, but a common thing people say to me, their dogs lick their paws a lot. Now, dogs can lick their paws because they're itchy, but also it can be a sign of stress and anxiety, and again, a way of relieving stress, releasing endorphins, and essentially trying to calm themselves down. A lot of people know about panting during anxiety. That's a fairly well-known behaviour that dogs will display when they're uncomfortable. So this little fluff is obviously not too happy about being in a cage and panting to show that he or she is not happy. Shaking when they're not wet, something that dogs do a lot. And if you start to look out for it, you will see it more and more out down the park or at the dog beach or even at home, or particularly in the vet clinic we see it a lot. So having a big shake after a stressful event. Now you can see in this video it's particularly distressing, I find, because this little girl is hanging off her dog, and I might just rewind that one back a little bit. Her dog was really not happy about that situation. And he's saying, I'm not happy. That was too stressful for me. And, you know, if his family don't pick up on those small behaviours sooner rather than later, often they start to escalate because they're not being heard. Food refusal. So we see this again at the vet clinic quite a lot. We try and win our patients over with treats, and sometimes they're just too stressed, too aroused, too anxious. And again, complete shutdown. This is another one we see quite a lot when we're trying to examine some particularly anxious patients. They just don't want to be there. So they just completely shut down. So I hope you can see from this short video that dogs do communicate with us. They might not be able to speak English, but they certainly do try and let us know how they're feeling. And if we are open to receiving that information and picking up when they're feeling uncomfortable or anxious in certain situations, then we can very well prevent them from feeling like they have to take that next step if they're not being heard, which very often is a growl or a bite. Please take this information with a grain of salt. If you are experiencing behaviour issues with your dog or have any concerns with how they are in certain situations with anxiety or with your children, please seek professional advice. You can call us. All of our vets are qualified in handling behaviour and managing behaviour problems, or we can certainly refer you on to behaviour specialists if the situation is quite dire. I hope you all have learnt something, and as I said, if from this video we can prevent a dog bite or a child or anyone getting hurt, and also prevent your dog from feeling anxious and uncomfortable, then that is obviously the goal. I hope you all have a really good weekend, and if you do want any more information, always welcome to email or call us at the clinic.